This
Katie,
conference will now be recorded.
are you still there? I think I lost her again.
All
Do
right, am
you
I
hear
still
me?
here? Because it cut out for
Yeah,
a second.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Okay,
I'm here.
very good.
So
Okay.
Katie's done EPT with me one time before. I know she practices some other healing modalities, but for anyone watching who doesn't know, EPT is a completely different approach in emotional health care. Has 25 years of clinical success ending anxiety and depression and all manner of pain and suffering in both children and adults. And Katie and I are going to talk today about feelings of powerlessness. It's kind of a theme that she felt was running through her life. Does it sound good, Katie?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember, it's been a while since we worked together. We start out with rapport. So I'm going to use neodymium magnets and do a brain balancing technique. So since you don't have magnets, I'm going to have you use your hands, do palm side against either side of your head, and take
Okay.
3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you're inhaling, just gently press on the sides of your head. Okay, so go ahead and take a deep breath in and let it out. Breath in and let it out. Breath in and let it out. Okay, and then just put your thumb in between your eyebrows and put your thumb or your finger, whatever you can reach, in like the notch at the base of your skull, and just do the same. 3 deep breaths again, lifting upward as you breathe in. And again. And one more. Okay. And can you still hear me?
Yeah, can you still
All
hear
right.
me?
Yep, you were frozen, but I can hear you. Okay. So thank you for showing up today and being willing to work on this with me.
I'm actually looking very forward to it.
Sweet. So to begin the session, we're just going to have you think about the feelings of powerlessness. And I guess if there's anything more that you want to tell me about it that I could take note of before we get into this, that could be helpful for our forgiveness statements.
I think when I ponder that feeling, what I register physically is like an increased heart rate, but also kind of this feeling of an emptiness, like at the center of my chest. Like,
Okay.
like I can almost physically feel a block there. And also a tenseness in my diaphragm area, like, and a difficulty breathing.
Okay.
And powerlessness itself, like, as a feeling to me, like, it wasn't anything I really considered until recently, because recently I've been dealing with shame. But I feel like the two are linked somehow, and I haven't yet discerned how. So does that make
All very
sense?
helpful. So the the empty feeling in the center of your chest is different than the feeling you're saying you have in your diaphragm when it's hard to breathe.
Yeah, the diaphragm is just like an extreme, like a tension, like a knot. The chest, it just feels empty. It feels like there's like a hole there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that would definitely contribute to feeling powerless, feeling disconnected from your center. All right, so I'm going to do some muscle testing as you're thinking about this whole feeling, and just maybe even let it, like, let yourself be reminded of how it feels in your body when you're feeling that, like the emptiness in your chest and the tension in your diaphragm. All right. So I'm going to ask your body, using muscle testing, how distressing this experience and these sensations are for you when you're feeling powerless. Okay. Testing that to 10. Is there any elation in feeling powerless? No. So that's a good thing, because you don't want to feel good about feeling disempowered or anxious. To your stage of healing in regards to this powerless feeling. I'm testing your stage of healing is a 1. That's like a denial of something. And I'm sure that'll become clearer as we move through this work. All right, so all the while keeping that thought, keeping your mind focused on feeling powerless, I need you to repeat these statements of congruency with me. And so I'm going to say, I can show up, and then if you can just repeat that for me.
I can show up.
I can pay attention.
I can pay attention.
I can tell the truth.
I can tell the truth.
And I can let go.
I can let go.
Okay. The only one that was a little kind of felt weak when I muscle tested was being able to pay attention. All right, so when you think about feeling powerless, I'm going to ask your body how many issues to heal this focus today. So, one issue today. All right. So I know, like you said, you're not sure what all this is about yet, but I'm going to ask you to think about the first issue, and that's just giving your body a permission to allow whatever's there to come up when you think about that. So I'm going to ask if the first issue, well, actually, I'm going to jump back for a moment and see if there's how many issues there actually are to get you to feel okay paying attention to what's here. So we're gonna go there first. So when you think about paying attention, is it who? Okay. I'm going through some more muscle testing. To form a statement that kind of represents where you are currently. Okay, so I'll tell you what I've come up with muscle testing. A feeling of low self-esteem that is not actually yours. It belongs to a past male friend. When I say that, does anybody come to mind? And I can muscle test several people, if a lot of people come to mind, and see which one is strong.
Gosh.
You would be feeling his feeling of low self-esteem, but you're kind of carrying that for him.
Man, is it Pat Moats?
Pat.
And it's
I'm
only difficult because, was it young? Would it have been like kind of the first impact or first empathic sort of connecting with someone feeling that way?
It doesn't have to be. So it's like
Would it
you're
be
feeling the low self. Maybe is there a situation about a past male friend that you're feeling now? Like, is anything current happening where one of your male friends might be feeling low self-esteem, or maybe you're reminded of a time when someone you were close with felt low self-esteem?
if it's more recent, try a Brad. I mean, I say that because there's a lot of, there's a lot of people in my life that I've lost to like drug addiction, which I feel like stems from that. There's a lot of people in my life that I've lost to suicide that I feel like stems from that like super low self-esteem. But like,
I didn't get a strong with, or I didn't get a yes with
Brad,
Pat or with Brad. Can just give me some other names if like whoever pops
what
in
about
your
my
mind.
brother? What about Kevin? Kevin Davis?
Kevin does work.
Okay. And that
So,
makes sense.
okay, can you tell me about that? That's what I was going to ask you next anyway. Like, why
All
does that
right.
make? What's the low self-esteem
Um,
about?
so Kevin is my brother, and he was adopted into our family. He came into our family when he was 18 months old. He was taken out of a ridiculously physically and sexually abusive household. So he was born into that household and stayed there for 18 months, and then came to our house when he was rescued by the foster care system. So, so I feel that that would have been, and then as you know, I was actually abused by two other foster brothers that came into my home at that point. And so I feel like I would have been almost overly empathetic to that feeling in him, both because of my own experiences and the compounded by the fact that those other brothers were like hurting me. So does that make sense? This low self-esteem that he actually had basically from inception to like when I met him. And I might have been like broken with my own low self-esteem at that point too, but like it wouldn't have been almost even in my young mind as bad as his. Does that make sense?
It does. So I'm looking for like I'm to finish the statement. I feel Kevin's low self-esteem. I tested with himself. So from what you're saying, I can think of like maybe because it could go back to the powerlessness already, like 'cause he can't do anything about this. Or
Yeah.
if something comes to your mind, like specific wording, why
Okay,
you would feel
say the
that.
sentence again. The
I
sentence.
feel Kevin's low self-esteem with himself because, and then I have to fill in that why.
Because
I'm asking like because he was
I
adopted.
guess he kind of mirrored to me what I was feeling. Maybe that he was
And what
feeling the same way I was feeling.
how would you describe, like how would you fill in that statement with what you were feeling even? Like because I don't have any power, or I can't protect myself, I can't change this.
Yeah, I felt like we were both powerless. And then I was powerless to help him, and I was powerless to help myself.
What muscle tests is like, I feel Kevin's low self-esteem with himself because he can't protect himself. Can't.
And I couldn't protect myself either.
So yeah,
Like, if we have to link
that
it
was,
back to me, then yes, that's yeah.
yeah. All right. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to ask through muscle testing now if there's an original time in your life when you felt a similar kind of low self-esteem as what you're feeling for Kevin. Is Kevin still in the picture, by the way? I'm just wondering.
He is and he isn't. He's a extreme alcoholic, and like, it's all very complicated, but at this point my mother keeps in contact with him to make sure that he's like okay and alive, but my daughter and myself are pretty much out of that picture.
So, is there an original time I felt this kind of low self-esteem? Yes. Is it conception to birth? Is it birth to birth? Age one. Age one. At age one, I felt my low self-esteem. Yes. Okay. I felt low self-esteem with who? Friend, family, self. Okay. So it's a very similar picture to what you're feeling currently. At age one, you're feeling low self-esteem with yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and jump to probably because I can't protect myself from something. Because I know you a little bit. But if something else is coming up strong and it's not related to like the trauma that I already know exists, then you can let me know. But that's where
Right.
my thoughts are going.
Well, that's interesting because everything that I remembered, even trauma related or otherwise, like, everything only goes back to about 2.5.
Okay.
Like, so
It's my testing age one is kind of a window. So it could
yeah,
be up to age one, it could be a little past age one, and that's not uncommon. But yeah, that
right,
is an issue that you're starting in denial, so it could be something repressed also.
right. Not that that would surprise me at all.
And I'm not trying to jump to that like you had some intense trauma when you were one either. It could be
Right, but that would be the
other
first
reasons
time
why.
that
I can't protect myself, you know? Maybe just someone got really mad at you. Are you there still?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm contemplating. I'm sorry. It's like trying to.
No worries. You'll have time to. I'm going to do some clearing over that emotion, low self-esteem, and it's normal if things are coming up for you. You can just let me know what you're thinking,
Okay.
and I'll just add them in, and we'll go. So I want you to think about feeling low self-esteem with yourself at age 1, because you can't protect yourself. Okay. You go green, red. So to clear that with a magnet, you need a green, so palm side over your stomach. So like right at the top of where your ribs are coming together. Just hold it there over your stomach. And then if you can do the back of your hand down on your forehead, that's how we're going to clear the feeling of low self-esteem, by holding like this and taking 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And on the exhalations, I want you to think about letting go of that low self-esteem. Did I
I
lose
got
you?
it. I know my lighting's crazy. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm in position. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Okay, so are you in position?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and take a deep breath in and let it out. Deep breath in and out. One more breath in and out. Very good. I'm going to see, are there any more emotions on this picture at age 1? Yes.
No, but I do believe that that was the first time, or the first time I remember my mother losing her temper with me, and
Was
it was like extreme. I remember being in like a little like a cubby hole kind of area, and she found me there, and I don't know if it was dangerous for me to be there or whatever, but yeah, there was.
so that memory popped up for you?
It did while I was doing the breathing.
Okay. And she was really upset at you for being in the cubby?
Yeah.
Are there specific things like about what happened after she found you and she's mad at you that are sticking out?
No, but I think I might have been like hiding from her, but I don't know if it was like a hide and go seek kind of hiding from her, or like hiding from her because maybe she was already angry with me. Like, I don't know.
And you don't
But I get
remember?
the feeling, I don't remember. I get the feeling that I was like hiding from her.
Okay. And you don't remember what happened afterward at all? Just she's mad, she found me and she's mad.
She found me and she's mad and she's yelling at me.
Okay, she's yelling. And that would feel pretty unsafe.
And I do get the feeling, Chloe, that I felt unsafe. Like, I do get the feeling that she was already mad and I felt unsafe. And then that's why I hid. And then that made her madder.
All right, so I tested, there's another emotion we need to clear on age 1. So I'm just going to run through and find that. Okay, so it's your feeling of abandonment at age 1. You can do the same kind of clearing again over your heart this time. You can go green and green. So palm side over your heart, palm side over your forehead, and take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and think about letting go of that feeling of abandonment, of being on your own when you're 1 and mom's mad and she found you. Take a deep breath in. And again. Are you set up like this? Your camera's frozen.
Yeah, I am set up like that.
Okay. All right. Just keep breathing then. Breathe again. And 1 more. All right, and let's do 1 more. Are there any more emotions on this picture? No. Okay, this is a trauma.
My ears started ringing too, Chloe. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
significant or not.
Does that usually feel significant for you? And like signal something?
No, but I feel like if anything, it might have just been a shift in like energy.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I'm testing that this instance is a trauma and you don't have magnets. So I'm going to, as we do forgiveness statements, I'm going to ask you to tap and send a message to your brain on the, you're going to tap on the left side and just, you don't have to say it out loud, but just send the intention there that can come back online and it's safe to be here. It's safe to be present and talk through this and go back and revisit this memory from age 1. And I'm going to coach you through forgiveness statements. You'll just say each one after me, and then we'll do a deep breath in and out together. If a statement really doesn't resonate with you, you can just let me know that, and we can reword it, or we can get rid of it altogether. But if you feel it's
Okay.
more about a resistance to saying something, then let me know that too, because then we can help work around that. All right, any thoughts or anything before we go into forgiveness?
No, nothing comes
Okay.
to mind right now.
All right, good. So if you would just start by remember to tap your head as you can, the left side. Maybe you are and you're just frozen, I don't know. But just start with a deep breath in and out just to get grounded and get centered. Okay. So I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that feeling powerless is true for me
that feeling powerless is true for me,
and is always going to feel this way in my life.
and that it's always going to feel this way in my life.
Take a deep breath in. And then out. Yeah. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that the powerlessness Are you there? Oh, your microphone says you're muted again. There you are.
Really? Am I here?
You're back now. Yeah.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say I didn't touch it.
I wanted you to say, I forgive myself for believing that the powerlessness I felt
I forgive myself for believing that the powerlessness I felt
at age 1
at age 1
was all my fault.
was all my fault.
Take a deep breath in. I forgive my 1-year-old self for believing
For what?
I can't hear you. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yep. I gotcha. I forgive my 1-year-old self for believing
I forgive my 1-year-old self for believing
it was all her job
that it was all her job
to protect herself.
to protect herself.
Take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that these feelings of powerlessness,
that these feelings of powerlessness,
emptiness, and extreme tension can't change.
emptiness, and extreme tension can't change.
Take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that this hidden memory from age 1
that this hidden memory from age 1
has to change
has to change
before I can love and accept myself
before I can love and accept myself
and feel empowered in my life. Oh, you muted again. Okay. Your mic's saying that you're muted. Do you hear me? Oh, you're back. It's saying you're on again, but I still can't hear you. I think you're frozen. Nope, maybe. I see you, but I'm still not hearing you. Now I have your mic saying it's muted again. Oh, just unmute your mic. There.
Okay, is that good now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So I'll try to say that whole thing again. It was, I forgive myself for believing that this hidden memory has to change before I can love and accept myself and feel empowered in my life now. And you can just breathe with me because you already said half of it. Okay, yeah. I forgive my 1-year-old self for believing
I forgive my 1-year-old self for believing
that she did anything that caused the abandonment and low self-esteem
that she did anything to cause the abandonment and low self-esteem
and feelings of powerlessness,
and feelings of powerlessness
yeah, that she felt when mom was mad and yelling.
that she felt when mom was mad and yelling.
Take a deep breath in. I forgive myself now
I forgive myself now
for unconsciously going back to this memory at age 1
for unconsciously going back to the memory at age 1
and feeling the increased heart rate
and feeling the increased heart rate
and the tension in my diaphragm,
and the tension in my diaphragm,
the emptiness in my chest
the emptiness in my chest
every time I feel disempowered.
every time I feel disempowered.
Deep breath and let it out. I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to pay attention to these feelings in my body
to pay attention to these feelings in my body
in a new way
in a new way
and remind myself that I'm not 1-year-old anymore.
and remind myself that I am not that 1-year-old anymore.
I'm an adult now.
I'm an adult now
I can protect myself.
and I can protect myself.
Breathe. I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for feeling disempowered again
for feeling disempowered again
when I think of my brother Kevin's life.
when I think of my brother Kevin's life
Yeah, because I relate to it.
because I relate to it.
And I forgive myself
And I forgive myself
for picking up that low self-esteem for him.
for picking up that low self-esteem for him.
Take a deep breath. I say yes to the low self-esteem
I say yes to low self-esteem
that I feel for Kevin and that I felt at age 1.
that I feel for Kevin and that I felt at age 1.
I call it up and release it
I call it up and release it
from every place in my body that it's stored
from every place in my body that it is stored,
yeah, and from my mind and my spirit
and from my mind and my spirit,
and I give it over to divine love and gratitude.
and I give it over to divine love and gratitude.
Deep breath. Okay. I say yes to the feelings of powerlessness and abandonment that I felt at 1.
I say yes to the feelings of powerlessness and abandonment that I felt at 1.
I call them up and release them
I call them up and release them
from my body, mind, and spirit
from my body, mind, and spirit
divine love and mercy.
to divine love and mercy.
Breathe again. I forgive myself now
I forgive myself now
for believing I have to hide every time I feel powerless.
for believing I have to hide every time I feel powerless.
And even then, it's not safe.
And even then, it's not safe.
I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for scaring me,
for scaring me
for making me feel unsafe.
and making me feel unsafe
Because she was angry and yelling at me.
because she was angry and yelling at me.
Take a deep breath. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for not knowing a better way of communicating with me when I was 1. No, your mic is off again.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I forgive my mom for not having a better way of communicating
With me when I was 1.
with me when I was 1.
And for not seeing how much she was scaring me. Did you get that part? Hmm. I can see you, but I'm not hearing you. And your mic says it's fine. I don't know what's up. Can you hear me still? Says your mic is off again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you are. All right, did you
Okay,
get
I can
all of,
hear you too.
what?
Where'd it go? Don't.
I
Hang
can hear
on,
you.
sorry.
Now I got you. As long as you can hear me, it's okay. Even if it's easier to turn your screen off, maybe that would make the connection better. As long as we can hear each other.
Okay, all right, I can still hear you. Go.
Okay. Did you get the last statement?
What was it again? I'm sorry, redo it.
I forgive my mom for not knowing a better way of communicating with me when I was 1, and for really scaring me.
Yes, I did get that one.
Okay. I forgive my adult self for looking for a cubbyhole to hide in. Oh, I think I lost you. Your mic's saying muted again. This technology. Katie, do you hear me?
Can you hear me,
Yeah, there you are.
Chloe?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I
Okay,
don't know
good.
why it keeps doing it. I'm not,
I don't know either. I'm really sorry that's happening.
that's
My
all right.
last
We'll get
statement, yeah, we got a few more minutes to get through, and let's
I
hope
forgive
for,
my adult self
yeah, forgive my adult self for looking for a cubbyhole to hide in.
for looking for a cubbyhole to hide in.
Every time I feel these powerless feelings,
Every time I feel these powerless feelings,
and I'm reminded of age 1 when I couldn't keep myself safe.
and I am reminded of age 1 when I couldn't keep myself safe.
Take a deep breath. I give my body permission.
I give my mom permission.
I give my body permission.
I give my body permission
Yeah, to let go of the physical sensations I felt at age 1. You're muted again. Maybe you're hearing me still. I lost her. Okay, I can see you. I just can't hear you.
I'm sorry it keeps cutting out and I keep having to reconnect and I don't know why.
All right, all right. Let's just go with it while we have it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I got one. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for getting even madder at me for hiding.
for getting even madder at me for hiding.
Because that's the only way I knew to protect myself.
Because that was the only way I knew to protect myself.
Yeah, and take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing. You're muted. Oh, this is hard.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
okay. I'm thinking, what was my train of thought? I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that taking action to protect myself is not a good idea for me.
that taking action to protect myself is not a good idea for me.
Because when I hid from mom, she got even madder.
Because when I hid from mom, it doesn't even matter.
Take a deep breath. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
um, the only actions I can take to when I feel powerless,
the only actions I can take when I feel powerless,
to feel empty, and panicked and tension
Feel empty, panicked, or tension
instead of taking action as an adult.
instead of taking action as an adult.
Deep breath. I give myself permission,
I give myself permission
to pay attention
to pay attention
to what's in the past
to what's in the past
and to what's real in my life right now.
and what's real in my life right now.
That was then,
That was then,
and this is now.
and this is now.
Deep breath. Without this low self-esteem and abandonment from age 1,
Let all this low self-esteem and abandonment from age 1.
I'm free to feel safe, secure, and complete
I'm free to feel safe, secure, and complete
in my center,
in my center,
knowing that I can protect myself.
knowing that I can protect myself.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Yeah, and without this extreme tension and knot in my diaphragm,
Without this extreme tension and knot in my diaphragm
that came from feeling low self-esteem at age 1,
that came from feeling low self-esteem at age 1.
I'm free to feel worthy, calm, and content,
I'm free to feel worthy, calm, and content,
being empowered and taking care of myself as an adult now.
being empowered and taking care of myself as an adult now.
Take a deep breath. I forgive my 1-year-old self
I forgive my 1-year-old self
for denying
for denying
her painful experience with mom's anger.
our painful experience with mom's anger.
Take a deep breath. Without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I'm free to pay attention to all parts of my life.
I am free to pay attention to all parts.
Yeah, and take a deep breath. Okay. Oh, you're muted, and I need you. I was going to, if you can hear me, I was going to ask you if there's anywhere else that you think we missed a little bit or still need to give some attention. But while you're muted, I'm going to go and retest your numbers from the beginning. Were you able to hear me just now? I'm not hearing you. Okay, so maybe we'll hear back from Katie, but I'm going to see her distress level was a 10, feeling pretty bad when she goes into that feeling of powerlessness, increased heart rate, emptiness. So I'm going to see how that is doing now. Testing, that went down to a 6. Katie, if you can hear me, just keep working on your sound. Hopefully you can get that back on. It's saying you're muted again. And there was no elation. I'm going to see her stage of healing. Getting a 6 there as well. 6, stage of healing 6 is light emerging. So a transition like birthing a baby. Good changes begin to happen, and then it feels like the bottom is falling out. So I'm really sorry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I know you can catch it in the replay though. So from the point you're in, it's normal if things start feeling like they're falling apart. You might feel new awarenesses, new painful things come to the surface, but they're just there to be able to be let go of. It's not a bad thing. It's all just part of getting you to creation of new life in a place where you really feel that you are empowered. And you can even remember that you're empowered when you have to look back at some of these painful experiences that you've had in your life. So she's still muted. The only other thing that I would test is I would have Katie repeat, I can pay attention, but I can just say, pay attention strong now. She is strong with paying attention at this point. So she's congruent. She's in state of healing 6. Distress went down to a 6. And you did really well. If you can hear what I'm saying, thank you. You did awesome.
You both did awesome. This was tough with all the techie problems.
It was.
Ah,
Should we
right.
stop?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna stop recording here.